Hey guys, today I decided to make another rankings video, and this time we are going to rank all the bosses in A Hat in Time. If you're actually wondering if I do play A Hat in Time, yes, I actually do. And it's just so much fun just trying to get through the levels, bosses, time rifts, everything. Alright, enough chit chat, time to get to the bosses. Alright, so this is the first boss in A Hat in Time, and it seems very, very easy. So 4 Mafia goons will come down the barrel tower to attack the player. Once they're all defeated, the Mafia on the top of the barrel tower will now throw barrels at you. And by barrels, I mean explosive barrels. And by explosive barrels, I mean explosive barrels with spikes on them. At one point, the Mafia will stop throwing barrels at you and attack him himself. And he takes more hits than the other Mafia, but that barely gives him any challenge. So yeah, this boss is quite trash. Alright, we're moving on to another boss that is quite easy, the Toilet of Doom, aka the Dweller's Outhouse. As soon as the fight begins, the toilet will throw a bunch of green slime balls directly towards you. There will be a cherry bomb in one of the slime balls, and once the slime ball pops, now's your chance to hit the Toilet of Doom. Once you hit the toilet, it will now jump in the middle of the arena, sending shockwaves. Then the Toilet of Doom will send in cages, but they're easy to dodge. After you hit it a few times, it will now move into its second phase, which might be the easiest phase of them all, because it will now just send in some bubbles, one will have an explosive cherry, and it will also send in shockwaves around the arena. Once you hit him a few times, again it will move into its third and final phase. Then the Toilet of Doom sends in some cages you can climb on, and then it will send in a giant explosive cherry, and you have to get on the cherry to hit the toilet. Then the crazy outhouse will jump even more, sending more shockwaves. It will also send in more cages, but they're too easy to dodge. A few more blows, and it's defeated. That's a pretty fun boss. Now we're moving into one of the harder bosses in the game, the Mafia boss. The fight will start off with the Mafia boss charging right at you. Once you hit it, it will either release a bunch of sandbags, or he will send in the supercharge. The first phase is pretty easy, but when the second phase comes, things get really intense. The Mafia boss will now jump around the arena, sending in his butcher knives as boomerangs, and sending sandbags, but a Mafia will charge right at you, and it's unhittable. After all that crazy stuff, it will now move into its third and final phase. The Mafia boss will send in a giant ball made out of Mafia, and he will roll it across the arena. You can hit him once you're at the top, but if you don't hit him, Mustache Girl will scream at you saying to hit him. And after the Mafia ball, it sends in the Ultra Charge, which is way different than the Super Charge, and then the Mega Charge comes. That is a really hard attack to dodge. It's one of the hardest attacks that he has. And then after that, he charges at you faster and faster. But once he's defeated, you feel so relieved because that was one peck of a boss. Next up, we have the DJ Grooves and Conductor boss. These bosses are equally the same. So in the first phase, they will start to go onto the roof and then charge at you. After that, he either sends a party ball to fall on the floor causing a shockwave, or a bunch of studio lights falling from the sky. And then he will jump on you, but then it's pretty easy to dodge. They have the same voice lines, the same attacks, and the same phases. Their attacks will repeat, but then they will send in more attacks, like Cars, charging at you with a knife, and sending pictures of himself either charging at Hat Kid with a knife or sending a party ball that sends a shockwave. And suddenly the lights will go out and a penguin or an owl will start to play the piano. And DJ Grooves or Conductor will send in a table to chat with them. And then the second phase begins. It gets a lot harder and a lot crazier. They send in saw blades. A bomb is strapped to your back. And then at one point, the conductor or DJ Grooves will tell you they'll find a way to defuse the bomb. And their diffuser is, what? Giant scissors? But then it actually works. And then DJ Grooves or the conductor will move into their third and final phase. Some owls will charge at you in a line, and basically DJ Grooves or the conductor will repeat their previous attacks, and once you defeat them, they're gone for good. Those were also some peck of a boss. Alright, next boss. Next up on our list, we have Mustached Girl. Now the fight at first starts out pretty easy. She throws timepieces at you, comes out of the ground, or barrel roll at you. After a few hits, the fight stops, and a cutscene happens. A bunch of random enemies from random worlds will come back and tell Mustached Girl to get lost. And then Mustached Girl throws a timepiece at you, and then the real fight happens. You are now in a battlefield with a very colorful sky, kinda like a seizure or fever dream. She starts teleporting more, and after you hit her, she starts to pull out a giant laser. After you hit her again, she will now pull out some timepieces that will go on the floor. And they will send in black, I don't know what those are, but there's something that can hit you. And after some of those attacks, she will now start to teleport away from you. That way you will prevent from hitting her. But then the conductor and the mafia help. They bring out the mafia ball. It's been used only once by the mafia boss, but now it will be used by Hat Kid. So now you have to hit Mustached Girl with the mafia ball in order to hit her. Then Mustached Girl will bring out a glass ball and you can't hit her in it. But then Snatcher and the goat will plant something. Snatcher will create an explosive cherry and the goat will throw it. Once the goat throws it, you can use it on Mustached Girl. You can throw it at her, and then she sends in a bunch of shockwaves. After that, Mustached Girl will get extremely angry and will hit the bystanders with her laser. But then the mafia realized when they explode, they can drop pawns, and then the third phase begins. But instead of normal attacks, she will now use extremely impossible to dodge attacks. But it's no problem because you have infinite health. After a few hits, you now defeat her, and then all the timepieces that she has turn into a giant timepiece ball. But do you know who's even cooler and harder than Mustached Girl? Yep, it's Snatcher. This is one of the greatest battles in Lifetime. The fight begins when Snatcher sends in giant lasers coming from the ground, and then he spins around with his loyal minions, and he says that he's not gonna turn blue anytime soon, but then he turns out to get blue potions. He brings about 5 or 6 potions at first, but then he pulls out 1,000, but then just one. It didn't hit Hat Kid, but Snatcher will now take the potion and drop it on you. Then things get crazy. Now Snatcher spins with his minions along sending with lasers, and suddenly he brings out more potions. And one didn't break, so that one potion that didn't break, throw it at Snatcher. And then Snatcher turns blue, and he doesn't like blue at all. So now his attacks get even harder. He even pulls in new attacks, like a bunch of giant lasers coming towards you, 2 Snatchers that you don't know which is which, and sending in shockwaves. This is a completely different boss from Mustache Girl. And plus, you can't use your hats. That way it makes it harder. In the Mustache Girl fight, there are a bunch of hats that can help you in that battle, but with Snatcher, you get no hats. And you know why? Because he takes your hat like a jerk. He snatched it. That's why it's called Snatcher. Those are all the bosses in A Hat in Time. That is a very fun game to play. I am not joking. It's literally one of the best games I've ever played. Well, that's enough for this episode. I might do Death Wish bosses next. So thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye-bye. But before I go, I would like to announce something. I'm making videos again, and you know why? Because I've been making too much music from Roblox. So I wanted to make this video, and I will probably make another When video. And also, Funky Chicken's Adventure 3 is coming soon, until November 28th. So be prepared. Bye.